Hey everybody, Jim Malone here. It's Dallas Trading Floor number 117. It is a Tuesday, August 25th, 2020. So hope everyone is doing good out there. Trimmed my position I trimmed my position today in Apple a little bit. I've also got some of my stuff pre-sold here. But I did trim in Apple. So for everybody out there that's been watching my trading, that is definitely the case. So let's get to the slides here before we take some questions. So great. Basically, the uh, it seems like the market direction is still in the uptrend, and I want to kind of point you to some things. We have some good action on the financials, the energy. We seem to be getting some movement out of tech. Not a whole lot. Tech is still leading, but we seem to be moving a little bit higher in some of the things that have been so beaten down. I don't know why this is the case, but it definitely is. The market is still in the uptrend, and so we don't want to be short. Now, interestingly enough, there was some big news yesterday regarding the Dow Jones. There was a stock that had been in there literally for like ever. ExxonMobil was removed. Get this, it was removed from the Dow Jones. And guess what? It looks as if ExxonMobil may not be able to make its dividend payment. They may have to cut it. This is amazing. The only big oil left in the Dow is Chevron, which is Standard Oil California, of course. And I'm originally from California, so I know the company very well. It's the largest company in California, but that's the only oil company left. As a matter of fact, very interesting. Interestingly enough, several companies did come into the Dow, which I think are kind of controversial. One was Amgen, which is, it's a biotech company, but it isn't growing all that much. It's also in California. Salesforce came in. I think that's interesting because, that is essentially a software as a service company. So that came into the Dow. And, so it's there's a lot of shakeup. There's a lot of change out there. So, we still are in the confirmed uptrend. We've had some distribution days on the NASDAQ, 3 so far this month. We did have one on the S&P 500 as well. But really the index to follow is the S&P. So that's going to be where I'm going to kind of show you the next slide. Basically, the SPDR, which is the largest ETF in the world, and a lot of people's retirement is in the SPDR. This is the ETF that tracks the S&P 500, and this is one that I'm really the most interested in because it's really the most significant, broadest market index, and that is, of course, the SPDR. And here is how the SPDR trades. We are up 71 cents today, which isn't a lot, but it just continues to power forward. I mean, this may be over 350, which is absolutely incredible because I thought when it went over 275, it was going to be, that was amazing. But this is beyond amazing. I don't know how it's going to trade into the election, but it seems like it doesn't want to stop. I mean, it seems like it's just powering ever higher. So the other very, very important ETF out there is the QQQ, and this is the largest 100 shares in the NASDAQ, which includes Microsoft, Apple, all of those. Now, interestingly enough, Microsoft and Apple, they're also in the Dow, but they are major components of the QQQ or the NASDAQ 100. The NASDAQ 100, the QQQ basically follows the NASDAQ 100, the 100 largest companies that are listed in the NASDAQ, and it's up 1.64 dollars today, or about 0.58%. So it's moving up nicely too. This is where most of the investment has been going. I am kind of sensing a little bit of weakness as we have come into this split for Apple and for Tesla. There was a pullback on Tesla yesterday. I sold, and then there was a pullback this morning on on Apple, and I sold 2. So I still have a partial position in Apple because I do have some options that will be expiring on Friday the 28th. But make it to say, I did lighten up on my Apple position. I am kind of waiting till we come through till we come through the split. The first day that the shares will be trading as of split will be on the 31st of August. So from August 31st, I suspect from August 31st to about September 3rd, I think we're going to see the shares move down a little bit. That's typically the way it works through a split. It'll split, and then there will be a pullback on the price because people will sell off shares and readjust portfolios. But a lot of other people will get in. But typically, it's the retail investors that are getting in. It's the institutional investors that are selling out. After the retail investors are again starting to move it higher, I will be probably back in probably about September 3rd or 4th, depending on how it trades. I'm not gonna buy it right out of the gate, but I'm gonna wait until it trades up. So that's my strategy on this. Okay, so let's see. Let's look at the IBD10. These are the best growth stocks currently. There's 50 of these, but I wanted to show you the top 10 to kind of see where the market is and where it sits. It's really signaling, and this is important in terms of the way it's signaling. Currently, the number 1 stock in the IBD10 is NVIDIA. This has been one of my suggestions for a long time. I started recommending this stock back in February when it was at the 284 buy point. It's far, far, far beyond that. It's 507.81. And actually, NVIDIA currently is worth more, believe it or not, than Tesla. I mean, not Intel, not Tesla. So it's really, really moved up. Now, another chip stock that's very significant is AMD. It's moved up well. It's up $2.58 today. It just seems to be doing extremely well. And to top it out, ViiV, I've been in and out of ViiV many times. I'm currently not in ViiV. I'm waiting for a buy point on that. It's terrific stock. It seems to continue to move up. There is one in here that is very interesting. It's down today. We covered it a little bit yesterday. It's PennyMac Financial, and it seems to be doing extremely well. Also, of course, one of my perennial favorites, PayPal. And one in here that I've never really bought or sold, and that's Stamps.com. I don't know how that one is doing. I'm not really that interested in it, but it is performing well. So that's the key. I want to show you an interesting chart on a stock that I moved right from the watch list basically into the small portfolio. And by the way, if you want to get a look at the small portfolio, you need to send your name and your first and last name and email so I can send you the link so that you can look at the small portfolio that I have of stocks. And that's really easy to do. All you have to do is go to DallasTradingFloor.com, and then in the lower right hand corner there's some red lettering, and if you could put your name in there with the email address, I'll get you the link right out and you'll have the access to it. So kind of a cool thing to look at. But the stock that I went right almost directly from being on the watch list directly into the portfolio was NIO. Now, normally I would not buy a stock like this. I just, for me, it's just a little bit too frothy for me. But, the fundamentals are good. It had a 99 relative strength. I did set the stop loss at 16, and I did come in with 50 shares. Basically just one position. I was going to come in with a half position, but it was looking pretty strong. So it's been moving that direction. So not a company that I'm too familiar with, but it does have good, it's basically totally on technicals. It did have a breakout, and more importantly, there's an analyst, I think it's from Jeffers, can't remember which firm it was, that upgraded this basically from a sell to a neutral. The fact that it even has a neutral is pretty amazing. So that is a good sign for me. They had some, just all like all Chinese stocks, they had the accounting issues going on there. So very interesting. I basically did, on strength on the upgrade, I did go in with a full position in the small portfolio. But show you my other stocks that are, some are in the portfolio and some are not. I basically am holding Apple. It's off. I sold the best half my position yesterday. More than half of it, 3/4 of it. Facebook is up strongly. That's also in the small portfolio. We have Microsoft in there. Dollar General is down a little bit. It just seems to not. I don't know about Dollar General. I mean, I'm getting a little bit antsy. I'm going to give it another week or two, see if it moves. If it doesn't, then I'll probably replace it. Of course, I talked about NIO, and from yesterday, there was a stock called Skyworks, which is down a little bit today, but I do believe going into the 5G rollout for Apple, basically in September, about September 21st, I think that one has a lot of potential. So we'll see. I have a stop loss set, so if it doesn't perform, then well, I'm going to be out of it anyways. So, but that kind of gives you the long and the short of it. So let's look at some questions. So see, you added NIO to your small portfolio. Yes, I did. And I did, normally I wouldn't have added a stock like this, to be honest. I mean, I just, but that's the way the market was going. So again, I try to be agnostic. I mean, I try to do it almost totally on the technical merits and not my, and not my opinion, because my opinion is a lot of times very faulty. but I do tend to be very concerned with the technicals. The technicals are very good on this, and that's why I entered it. So let me kind of give you a gander at the small portfolio and the ones that I entered here. And as you can see, we sold, of course, out of Tesla. You can see that we made a little bit of money there, good. But we went into NIO today. I went in with a full position, 50, and I was only going to go with a half position, but it looked fairly decent. So I went in with a full position, and guess what? We're already up. So not a lot. We're up 2%, but that's not bad in a day. So, beats digging ditches for a living. We're off a tad on Skyworks. We're down. We're really not even down 1%. That's really just a rounding error there. So hopefully that'll move higher. Just 6 shares there, and it's another full position. We're mostly in cash right now. I'm trying to figure out where things are going to go. Right now my best performer is, Facebook. And I'm waiting to come through this until we get to, till we get the other side of this, so I can start buying Tesla again, and I'm going to start buying Apple again. But right now, the small portfolio is basically in, Microsoft, Facebook, Dollar General, NIO, and Skyworks, which is 5, different stocks, which is a lot. I normally don't like to trade 5. 6 is about my maximum in a small portfolio. I'm waiting to see if I get any strength on any of these other ones. I'll add to the position. They're basically all one position each, so that so everybody can understand my methodology. This is called position trading. And it's very, very simple. All you have to do is take the value of your portfolio, divide it by 8. That gives you one full position, and then you try to match the number of shares that are in the position. And again, that's what I've done here with the shares. These are the retired shares, the ones that I have sold, and then these are the ones currently on the watch list. Now, I will be taking off Skyworks and NIO, obviously, because they've been added. They were bought, so they're off this tonight. But basically, it shows you what, are they in the buy zone or not. We have several that are in the buy zone. We have this one that's up on deck, CRISPR, which I really like. I haven't bought it though. I'm trying to see, if there's a better buy point. This is an alternative buy point. Typically, I like to buy them on a actual buy point, which is a formation like a cup with handle, 3-week tight, that kind of thing. But there is an alternative buy point, and that's for extended, and that is pullback to the 50-day moving average, and that's kind of what is happening with CRISPR. So if you want to get access to this, it's super, super duper easy to do. All you have to do to get access to it is to go to www.tradingfloor, and in the lower right-hand corner, there's a little box. Just put in your name, first and last name, and your email address, and we'll get you a link right out. Of course, it's all free, and you can subscribe or unsubscribe anytime you like. So it's real easy and real easy to do. By the way, for anybody that's looking on TikTok right now, I am broadcasting both on TikTok and on YouTube, as well as Facebook and Periscope, pscp.tv/DallasTrading4, and also on Twitch, twitch.tv/DallasTrading4. If you want to see the charts that I'm showing and you're on TikTok, just jump on over to YouTube, and it's youtube.com/DallasTrading4. And this is edition number 117, 117 on that. So let's see to take some questions. Is it time to sell Apple? Well, you know what? I did sell. I've been trimming my position. I'll be honest with you. I started to sell it at the end of yesterday. I did sell a little bit this morning. I have one position left in one of my portfolios, but that's covered by a call, and that was already pre-sold. So yeah, I'm trimming back my position, waiting for it to come through, split, and then once it splits, then I'm going to be rebuying it. But right now, it seems to be moving in such a way that it seems to be kind of right at that level, right around 500. So let's take a look at the chart. I just want to just quickly look at the Apple chart and just give you a kind of a gander on that. Yeah. Okay. So let's look at how it's trading on the 15-minute chart. This is going to kind of give us a sort of a more strategy view here, but let's take a look. This is the Apple chart, by the way, and we've been having some strong buying. It seems to be stuck right here at about 500, and it just kind of seems to be hanging there. And it's down a little bit. It's trading down from about 500. Who knows what's going to happen? But I do think that there are strong buy. There is strong buying and stuff, but it doesn't seem to be moving beyond that. And we're starting to see a little bit of a pullback here. We're seeing a little bit of a pullback here before the split. So I may have been a little bit premature by saying that it would reach its peak on the 27th. That's kind of what I figured it would be, but it looks like it's a little bit early reaching its peak. I think it probably is going to reach its peak at least prior to the split on, it would be today or yesterday. So and it's really turning out that it's the day of record, and of course for Apple, the day of record was Monday the 24th. So you had to be on Apple in order to get the shares. So that's kind of the way it is. So I do think it's time to sell, possibly sell into strength Apple. Wait for it to come through, then wait for it to back off a little bit. And I don't think it's the end of Apple by any stretch of the imagination. Believe me, because I think this rollout of the 5G phone is going to be absolutely tremendous, and it's going to happen on September 21st. But I do think it's going to pull back after it splits. So I'm looking to get back into Apple probably on about September 3rd or 4th, depending on how it trades. But that's kind of where I'm at. GBTC. This is the Greystone Bitcoin Trust, and it's a very interesting way to play Bitcoin. They say in their brochure that they hold approximately, they hold approximately 3% of the Bitcoin in the world. I have no way of verifying this at all. I have no way of verifying it. But I do know that this kind of trades as a proxy for Bitcoin. And it's off a little bit today. As you can see, it's down, but there is a buy point on GBTC, and that is 1258. So for everybody that's on the chat, I'm going to put GBTC pivot equals 1258. Now, what do I mean by these pivots? This is coming off of a pattern that's recognizable. This is a 3-week tight. This is not the greatest of patterns. It's an okay pattern. It's not the most stellar pattern, but it is definitely a pattern. And the pivot on that one is 1258. Now, this is buyable. Basically, the way it works is that this is a buyable pivot from 1258 on up to the top of it would be, you would take 1.05 or 5% up. You multiply it times 12.58. That gives you the buy range. So that is the buy range on GBTC. It doesn't appear to be all that strong, but let me look at the intraday on that one. Let me look at the 15-minute chart. Yeah, it's moving down towards the close today. So it does seem to be, it seems to be bouncing at this about the 12, yeah, right, almost exactly the buy point. It seems to be bouncing at about the 1270 range, 1270 price. That seems to be where it is at, but it's trended lower, and then it's trading up now towards the end of the day. So, a lot of people are very interested in Bitcoin. I'm not a real fan of it, just because there's some issues related to its, related to the trading of it that are a little bit difficult. So, excuse me. What do you think of Li Auto? This is the other one, Harris. Thank you very much for this. I think it's, I don't know, I guess the symbol is LI on that. I'm not sure. This is the other sort of Me Too Tesla-like company. I don't know a lot about it, but I'm going to take a look at the chart. I think it's LI Auto. Yeah. Let's look at the weekly chart on that. See if there's anything. It just came out of the gate. It's really too early to buy this one. Not that I have anything against it, but here's the rule on IPOs. You really want to wait 3 months to buy them. Why? Because the way IPOs trade typically is they come out of the box and then they trade down, and definitely this is the case. It came way up and then it's traded down. Now it's coming up. Who knows how it's going to trade, but it only has a relative strength of 68. I think NIO, if you're going to be in this area, NIO is probably your better chart. Let me put up NIO here just so we can kind of look at them side by side. I think that's really important. Let's look at the NIO chart. Now, there was, NIO, this is the one I did buy this morning. It looks like it's coming in. It looks like it's moving powerfully up towards the close. Yeah, I mean, definitely have, it's got a 99 relative strength. That's better than if you're than Li Auto. So if you're going to be in any of these, and this is highly speculative, by the way, this is a lot more speculative than most of the stuff that I have on the portfolio, to be honest with you. And you might not even want to start with a half position. I have a full position just because I saw it moving up and I set my stop loss up. But yeah, this is the one that's probably out of the two. This is probably your best bet. It's still not that powerful. It's not that great. It's amazing that you can buy. It's amazing that you can buy NIO for. It's $17 for NIO, and Ford is like under $8. So that just shows you how upside down the world is. But on technicals, I think other than Tesla, and if you're going to want to be in the automobile space, that might be where to go. So there you go. I'm hoping that Apple goes up after the split so I can sell. Then wait for the relative strength indicator to oversell. Here's the thing. I don't use the RSI, and I know this. I know this is sacrilege. I use what they call the RS line. It's different than the RSI, in that it compares the stock to the S&P 500 and not relative to everything else. And I think that's a better marker. So let me show you the Apple chart. With the relative strength indicator. I'm going to show you the daily chart and not the weekly chart. Normally I would look at the weekly chart, but we're looking here for strength. As you can see, this says RS rating. This line here, this blue line here. It's not an RSI line. This is the Nasdaq. This is the Nasdaq. I'm sorry. This is the S&P 500. Anytime you see this line moving up, that means that Apple is moving up relative to the S&P 500. So, and that's definitely been the case up till yesterday, and then when it broke 500, and then it broke down a little bit. It looks like this chart is breaking down a little bit, and I think it has to do with the date of record. So. It's probably time to be out of the stock, at least until it comes through on the other side. And I think the other side is going to be September 3rd or 4th. I think that's when it's going to start turning back up again. But right now, Apple it's still a great stock. I mean, I wouldn't be out of it unless I was stopped out of it. But just be careful because when it splits. And I just want to be upfront about this. When it splits, the prices will move down, and then a week or so or two later, depending on when the uptake is, it will start to move higher again. So if you just hold it, you're probably fine. I typically like to play the motion. I like to play the motion because I can make extra money that way by riding it up, selling it, and then waiting for it to come back down, and then riding it up and selling it. So that's kind of how I play it anyways. Apple, that is. Yep, absolutely. Okay, so let's see. I just go to pivot. Okay. What are your thoughts on LABU? Well, I don't know what LABU is. Let me look at LABU. LABU. Put that in right now. And let's take a quick look. Okay, this is the bull, 3X bull. You know, we're getting into a flat market. I don't think you want to be in the 3X bull. This is for a market that's in a different stage. We're not in the right stage for this. You know, I just wouldn't recommend this at this point. I think we're just going to see it start to sell off. As you can see, it's been moving from the 50-day moving average down to the 200. If it breaks below this 200, excuse me, which it may, then I think that we might, you know, this might break down a little bit. But right now it's still good, but I don't think this is the thing to be in. This is a directional, and those just, it's just not a market for it right now. I think the market's moving sideways. I don't think it's time for the directional. So let's see if I can take some questions here for Tesla. From TikTok. Thank you for being so patient. How much is a full position? Very, very good question. The way it works, I do what they call position trading, and this is by the way, if you're interested in this, this is outlined in a great book that I think everyone should read. This is how I started in the business, and it's called How to Make Money in Stocks: A Winning System, Good Times or Bad, by William O'Neill. And you can buy it at Half Price Books, and I'm going to have some links up for Audible and that kind of stuff pretty soon. I have to redo the website, but this is a really great book to read because it shows you how to do position trading. And what I mean by position trading is this. Let's say you take the total value of your portfolio, you divide it by 8, and that's one full position. You shouldn't really trade any more than 8 stocks at any time. As a matter of fact, if you're less than about $100,000, you really should only be trading about 5 to 6. Now, I have made an exception for this small portfolio. I actually have 5 stocks in there, which is really too many. I mean, but to show it as I need to show it as you would normally trade it. Basically, what you do is you never go in full both hands. You go in usually with a half position. You then move to a full position, and then if it's really strong, you go to 2 positions, and you never exceed about 3 positions of any one stock. And this balances your portfolio so that if there's a catastrophic loss in one of the stocks, you're not totally hung out to dry. Now, in addition to this, you need to set your stop loss. When you go into a stock, you need to set it at 70. If the stock is trading above about $10, you want to set it at 7% down, good to cancel. So what that is that you take 0.93, which is 93%, multiply it times the price that you paid for the stock, and that will give you the number that you need to set as the stop loss. And set it good till cancel. Don't set it for the day. And also set it at market. Don't do the trailing stop loss. Don't do that. It's gonna screw you up. You want to go with a good till cancel. So that's what a position is, and I really thank you for that. I'm going to try to make some videos on that because it's a very, very important way that you can maximize the profit and minimize the loss in your portfolio. So it's very important to know that. Tesla is going down. Yeah, it is. Well, that's why I sold yesterday, just to be straight up. The reason I sold was because it violated. What I do with the stock when it's moving up like that, like Tesla, is that I take my stop loss, I continuously move it up until it gets to the crescendo. Then when it pulls back, I'm sold out. So it's very hard to call the tops of anything, but that typically is a good way to do it. So that's how I manage my position in Tesla. That's how I did. Now I'll be back in Tesla probably on September 3rd or 4th, depending. Excuse me, I have a little bit of sniffles here. Depending on how it's trading, but I do believe it will trade down and then it will trade up from there. So there we go. Okay, sell Tesla today, tomorrow. I sold my Tesla yesterday. I sold it at $19.93. I didn't get absolutely the top price. I mean, I think it went up to $2,100 and it's pulled back. Let me see where Tesla is trading right now. I do think it's going to pull back into the split. The split, of course, is going to happen on the split is going to happen on tomorrow. I mean on Friday, the 28th. So let me show you the chart for Tesla here, so you get an idea of it. This is the 15-minute chart, which I don't normally recommend, but as you can see, yesterday at the end of the day, it sort of it moved a little bit down. It went all the way from 2100 all the way back down. That's where I sold, was in this motion down, because I had my stop loss set. Now it did trade up, and it's continuing to trade up, and it looks like it's going to close on a high. So right now, Tesla is, it's trading. It is trading up. So it's 2023 right now, which is which is getting up there. I definitely think it's probably a good time to take profit right now. That's what it's saying. But now, will you get the high? I know you never know. But I think that now, if you're in the issue, I think that it's a good time to sell into the strength. Now it may go higher, so I can't guarantee you that it's going to be the high. But if you are holding Tesla, you might want to consider selling it right now and then waiting until it comes through the split, and then picking up the split shares at a lower price, because I do think that there's money to be made that way, and that's exactly how I'm going to trade it. And of course, by the way, for everybody, just so that you get these trade alerts and these updates, so easy. Just go to Dallas Trading Floor, and in the upper left-hand corner, there's a thing that sign up for the action trade alerts. That's what I do when I have an action trade alert and I need to get in touch with everyone. Or I have a way to trade something, I'm going to send it out to everybody that's on the list. And of course, it's free. So you just go to dallastradingfloor.com. And if you're looking on TikTok, super easy to get on the action trade alerts. All you do is you go to my profile, hit the link. It goes right to the sign up page. And of course, it's all free. So it's an easy way to kind of get into the groove and to follow along with my trading. If you also want to follow along with a small portfolio, that's also super easy. All you have to do is go to www.dallastradingfloor, and in the lower right-hand corner, there's a sign up for that, and just put that in there, and I'll send you the link for that so you can see it as I trade it in the small portfolio. So that's kind of a cool thing too to look at as well. So let's see the next question. The next question that we have. Fugu. Fugu was the easiest money I ever made. Well, let's look at Fugu. Isn't Fugu like, it's one of those things that, I don't know, FNGU? Is it Fungu? I don't know. BMO. Oh, okay. Well, that's pretty cool. It's an ETF. I don't know about this one. Maybe it is the easiest money you ever made, but it's really moved up. That's for sure. It's 99. It's 99. It's notes. Okay, it's notes. The FANG. Okay, so it's notes on the FANG. This is like the TVIX. Yeah. Okay. This is sort of a new one. Interesting. I'd have to take a look at this one. They got rid of the TVIX, which was the exchange traded notes, the 2x exchange traded notes. But I guess this was sort of the replacement. BMO is Bank of Montreal, of course, and they own Diners Club. I know because I have a card, Diners Club, and it's a 3x notes on the FANG index. That's very interesting. Okay, well, I'll have to look at that one. It's FNGU. So I don't trade that one right now, but I kind of know sort of about those kind of things. So cool. Yeah, I bet it does. I mean, I bet it has. So let me take a look at that one, so I can I can give you a thing. Okay, we have a junk alert here. LABU is junk. Let's take a LABU. You're probably right. LABU. Just for grins, I'm going to take a look at LABU. Yeah, this is a Drexion S&P Bio. Okay, this is the Bio. This is the ETF that follows that. So, okay. Yeah, it's not. That's my favorite. It's definitely moved. But the 40 day is above, the 50 days above the 200 day, so that's good. But it does look like it's trending downwards, and it's got an RS of 63. So, You may be right. It may be kind of junky. I typically like to see them at least have an RS of 80. That's what I like to see. So you're probably right. Avoid all biotechs. Yeah, I believe that too. I think you're absolutely right. Thank you for that comment. That's very astute. Here's the problem with the biotechs. They tend to be very, very binary. So you can get some ones that just do fantastic, and you can get other ones that are not so much. If you have to be in that space, and I really don't like that space all that much. There is one that I kind of like. It's called CRISPR. That's been doing very well, but I don't like that space a lot. I agree with you. You're right about that. The one that you want to look at possibly, and this is just a possible, if you have to be in that space, is the IBB, and this is an ETF that basically tracks the whole index. But I'm not even in this one, so yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right. That is very interesting. That FNGU, I hadn't really. I hadn't really done anything with that. And I was more TVEX. This was back towards the beginning of the year. Of course, the TVEX doesn't exist anymore. It went under. It didn't go under, but they got rid of it. But this one is very interesting because it follows the FANG, and it's kind of like the TVEX. So I definitely have to look into it. I really appreciate that. You bringing that forward, so that's really, really good. And I agree with you about the biotechs. They're really hard to trade. They're really hard to trade because, see, the thing is they don't make any money, and then all of a sudden they're just everything's great with them. So it's very, very hard to trade those. Very, very, very hard to trade those. But yeah, it's cool. Hey man, Mega How To Man. I love position trading. Just by quality. Yeah, absolutely. This is the thing. I mean, I'm trying to put stuff in my small portfolio that makes money that's cheap, like under $10, but it's very hard. It's easier to position trade, and it's really easy to position trade, and you can buy quality. And the advantage of position trading, everybody, is that with position trading, the volatility doesn't affect it as much. When you're in a cheap stock that's highly volatile, it can cause you to go to a stop loss and or it can wipe you out. Now it can also double your money. I did that with a Blink charging, but then it immediately pulled back. So you got to be really on top of them. With position trading, you can buy the very best. You can buy Tesla. I had 2 positions of Tesla, which is great. Sold them out. I had positions of Apple. I have positions of Microsoft. You can put with position trading, you don't go in and you buy 100 shares. You buy 3 or 4, whatever the position is. Remember, there's 8 positions, super duper easy. You take your portfolio balance, you divide it by 8. That gives you 8 full positions. Now, with the more speculative stocks, typically you want to go in with a half position. Now, I sort of broke a rule today because I saw that NEO was popping, so I went in with a full position. Normally, I would not buy a stock like NEO, and I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't buy it. It's just too low rated. And I would go in with a half position even if I did buy it. So it's kind of a double entendre. But that's really, really good. I appreciate this very, very much. And I am a position trader. I think it's a great way to handle your portfolio. And if you can do it, you can expose yourself to this very good upward potential, but you can also protect your portfolio. So great way to trade. And thank you for bringing that up. I so appreciate it. What is the maximum you expect for Tesla to go up? Well, actually, I expect Tesla to back off a little bit prior to this split. Now, I think 2100 is probably going to be the maximum for it. It's going to trade in a range probably from about, I would think about 1950 on up to about maybe as high as 2100 before the split. But Tesla is a very fickle stock. It moves very, very fast. Yeah, it's pulled back a little bit. It's 21.23 right now. Let me show you the chart on it right now. So yeah, it's trading right above that 2000 mark, which I think is an important one for it. As it goes through the split, I think you're going to see it. I don't necessarily think volatility is going to come down all that much, but the prices will be lower, and it'll be easier to deal with. I mean, at the prices that it's at now, it's very tough, to handle, and but I do think that it's the trading range for Tesla going into the split is going to be about 1950 on up to about 2100. So right now it's at about 2023. So there you go on that. Apple, is this still a good plan to sell on the 27th? Down a bit. You might want to start start backing off your position a little bit. I thought it was going to peak more towards the 27th. I was a little bit I was a little bit ambitious there. It seems like it's been peaking. I took off a lot of my positions last night and earlier today. I still have a full position on it in one of my portfolios, but I think it's time to start as it moves up. I think it's time to start selling into that strength and waiting for it to come through the split, because the split will be once it splits, there's going to be another great opportunity to make money, but it's probably not going to happen until about 3 to 4 days after it splits. Now, can I predict the future? No, I absolutely can't. But that's typically the way splits trade, is that they will move up, and then once it splits, the split shares will then be sold off, and it will backtrack a little bit, and then you'll see a movement upwards typically. So there's going to be another opportunity to get into Apple, but I think if you're in Apple, you have good profit in it, you might want to consider selling it into the split. And I think that's a very good question. It was all your fault. I never use stops. They always fill. Okay, well, I do use stops. I do use stops because I can't be on the machine all the time. So I do use stops, and I move them. I move them up. So I hope that's, if you can sit in front of the screen all the time, that you don't have to use stops. But I use stops because I don't sit in front of the screen all the time. I am not a day trader. I'm a swing trader. And so I use stops to sell out of my positions. What I'll do is, if I want to sell it, I just keep moving the stops up until it eventually fills, and then I'm out. So that's cool. Thank you. Link Tesla battery partners. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, well then man, if that's true, we might see it. Tesla is it's really hard to gauge, because I mean, any little news for Tesla can send it up. It's such a pivotal company, and it's such a pivotal company. That seems to be the way it does. Okay, Harris. SHLL. Let's look at SHLL. Let's see if we can find out anything on SHLL. SHLL is Tortoise Acquisition Group. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I'm really kind of I'm not a big fan of these acquisition groups, because I really don't know what they're gonna buy. This guy was gonna try to. I think what was the other one that bought? Nikola. That's a total Me Too company. It has been going up a lot, but I don't know. It just doesn't. There's not a lot there, but there is a pivot on it. So if you're interested, the pivot is 34.67, which is I wouldn't recommend this one, but if you want to be in it, the pivot is 34.67. So not my favorite on that. Okay, Thomas, SLGG. Let's take a look at SLGG. See what we've got there. SLGG. Super League Gaming. This doesn't look like a great chart. Sorry about this, Thomas. I'm going to show everybody the chart here. This is a chart you don't want to buy, and I can show you why. And the reason is it's going the wrong way. It's going from the upper left-hand corner to the lower right-hand corner, and that's not the way you want to go. It also has a relative strength of 9, which means that the S&P 500, that means that 91% of the S&P 500 is doing better than the stock. Don't want to be in it. Sorry, this is not the way to go. If you're looking for the gaming stocks, I think Penn National might be the one that you might be interested in. Let me just take a look at the chart for Penn. I think this one might be a good alternative. It's probably a little bit more expensive, but here's the thing in this. You want to trend to buy quality. Yeah, this one's up. Let's look at Penn National. Here's the thing. In position trading, it doesn't matter how the shares cost. You buy the better you buy the better stock. If you're interested in the gaming area, and I like this area a lot, Penn National Gaming I think is a better one for you. It's also got a much higher relative strength than I think the other one was a 9 relative strength. This is a 97 relative strength. So you want to buy winners. This is a winner. Penn National, PENN. That was the one you want there. Okay, so TikTok. Let's see. TikTok. Okay, can you buy stocks of companies that your family members work for if you don't know anything about. Yes, you absolutely can. You absolutely can. The only time that you have to you can't violate the insider trading rules is if you work for one of the auditors. And the reason I know that is because I used to work for a firm called KPMG, and I had to sign a disclosure, and I had a stock portfolio, and I had to disclose my stock portfolio, and I could not trade any of the stocks that the company audited. I couldn't do that. So that's the only caveat. But if you have a company, if somebody in your family works for the company, you can absolutely buy the stocks. But here's the thing: don't buy a stock just because somebody in your family works for there. Because a lot of times the very best companies to work for are some of the worst stocks to own. And so just be really careful on that. Try to buy quality. That's just my only real suggestion. Thoughts on Rocket? Now, Rocket Mortgage, of course, this is old Quicken Loans, RKT. This is a relatively new company. It just came out of the gate. It's really too early to buy this. You shouldn't buy an IPO until it's been seasoned for at least 3 months. And there's a lot of reasons for that I can go into, but it's kind of a long discussion. This one has just come out of the box. What's happening now is a lot of the original venture capitalists are selling off their stocks, and this may cause it to act a little bit erratically. But it has been doing very well. I mean, it's got a relative strength of 92. It's at 28.63. So that's a good number. But I think it's not yet time for Rocket Mortgage. You need to wait a little bit on Rocket before before you buy it. Before you buy it. So there you go. That's my take on it anyways. You cannot trust biotech CEOs. They doctor their studies. Yeah, I agree with you. I try to agree with you about bios. Right now, everybody's going into the biotechs because it's a COVID-19 thing, and I understand it. But, be super careful. There's biotech stocks tend to be very, very binary. Sometimes, and sometimes the studies are no good. And, oh, man. This is a tough area to be investing in. There's just too much hype in this area. If you do have to invest in this area, you might want to go with a portfolio of these, like the IBB. You might want to do that, but biotechs are hard to invest in. That's all I can say. I discovered 3x FANG as a no-brainer. Pattern is up. Yeah. Well, you're probably right. I mean, I'll definitely take a look at that one because that's a very interesting idea. A 3x FANG, FANG stock. Now, if you do trade an ETF like this is very similar to the TVIX. Be very careful. Set your stops very tight because it can reverse on you very quickly. Very, very quickly. So let's see. What about next? What's your YouTube? Okay. Yeah. Thank you for that very much. For everybody on TikTok, I'm simulcasting on YouTube. It's super easy. All you do is go to youtube.com/Dallas Trading Floor. And the episode that we're broadcasting right now is 117. So Dallas Trading Floor, the number sign, 117. And there's a space between, no spaces between Dallas Trading Floor and a space between the space and then the number sign and then 117. That's the issue that we're doing right now. But it's youtube.com/Dallas Trading Floor. That is the URL for my YouTube posts. And there's other things in there as well as the lives. And typically after the live, about 30 minutes or so, it's archived up to that. So thank you very much for that question. So everyone can tell you, how can Tesla go to $1,000 after the split? Its evolution is already very high. Well, I don't think it is going to go to. I don't think it is going to go to 1,000. At least not initially, after the split. I think it's going to be more like 350 after the split. Who knows? I mean, it's going to flip 5 for 1, but I think it's going to be between 350 and about 475. I think that's very likely. So that's the reason I sold Tesla, and I'm waiting for it to go through the split because I do think it will back off a little bit. So the question is, can it be 1,000 in By the end of the year, maybe, absolutely. I mean, they have some great technology, and Battery Day is coming up, so that's not out of the realm of possibility. But I do think it's going to trade lower after the split, and that's basically from the 31st of August on over to September 3rd. So that's the time frame for that. Anyways, and I will cover that more as well. Okay, so I have 5 positions. Okay, cool. Let's see. Tesla Battery Day is September 22nd. It will shoot up. Yeah, I think so. Position trade, scale in. Yeah, absolutely. Buy below 1984. Yeah, I think that's very good. I think that's good. I think that's very good advice. I agree with you. I do think that Tesla has not finished his run. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You are right about this. I just think it's going to back off a little just because that's how splits are. When it goes through a split, there's a sell-off. People rebalance their portfolio. It moves a little bit lower for a few days, and then it starts to move back up. But I do think Battery Day is going to be a big deal. Interestingly enough, Apple is going to have a big announcement too. So it's going to be a competition for those investment dollars. So it's very interesting. But yeah, I think that's a great way to play it. Position trading, for everybody that doesn't know, this is a very good way to do it. What you do is you take the size of your portfolio, you divide it by 8, that gives you 8 full positions, and then you don't go in all in one, you basically buy as much as you need that will fill out a position. And so, and I'll be talking more about that. It's a great way to trade. I've traded like this for years, and it's definitely, not only has it saved my bacon, but I've ended up being able to have the dry powder to go into the things that were really moving. One of the nice things about position trading, especially if you have dry powder, is that if you see something that's moving, you can commit resources to it as it's moving higher. One of the things when you're trading that's very important is don't go all in with both feet. Go in and buy it as it's moving higher. So, you don't want to buy it on a dip. Everybody will tell you on CNBC, oh yeah, buy the dips. Well, that's great for them. Their time horizon is 5-10 years. But do you want to make money now? Don't buy on the dips. Buying on the dips is for suckers. No offense, but it is. Don't buy on the dips. Only buy on strength. Only buy on strength. And the minute it pulls back, that's when you want to stop out of your position, because you can always get back in. You can always get back in. Remember that. All right. Thoughts on NVTA? Is it NVIDIA? Maybe that was NVIDIA. NVIDIA is a terrific stock. I think it's NVDA is what you're talking about. NVDA. NVIDIA now has a larger cap than Intel. That is just incredible to me. I've been recommending this stock on and off since about February when it was at the pivot. The pivot was at 254 on this one. It has moved up. It's 510. Wow, that is just incredible. The last pivot on this one, yeah, the last pivot on this one was about 230. Can you believe it? It's double what it was at the pivot. I don't know if there's any stopping this thing. It's number 1 on the IBD 50. It's number 1 on the IBD 50, and yet it just keeps going up. So you don't count this one out. I just don't know. Right now, my only issue with this, and there was a huge buying, my only issue with NVIDIA is finding the right entry for it. I cannot fault the stock, but finding the right entry might be difficult on this one. And I'll put it on my list because, it might be good. All right, MFI. I like MFI. And your thoughts on the buying point for SWIR? Okay, MFI, June, is that's a good stock too. That's also one of the 5G stocks. IMPI. I think it's is that right? Okay, IPH. I'm sorry, IPHI. Yeah, MFI. IPHI. Let's bring it up. Oh, okay. IPHI. There we go. MFI Corp. And here we go. Let's look at MFI. It's moved below it's below the 50-day. There might be an opportunity to buy this here, actually, if you're interested. Typically, it looks as if it's pulled back below the 50-day. That looks like it's moving out of that. It's got a blue bar, so it's going to move back above that. This is not an optimal place to buy it. This is a called follow-on buy point. This is not a actual buy point, but this is possibly buyable at about the 120 level. Let's see where I would buy it. Okay, I'm sorry. 119.80 is where I would buy it if it moves beyond, if it moves above 119.80 with strength, with conviction, with volume, then it's possibly buyable because it looks like it's going to bounce off the 50-day moving average, and that's a secondary buy point. It's not nearly as good as a primary buy point, but it is good. It's good. Let's see. Search efforts on Twitter, Silicon Valley. Okay, cool. I will definitely look into that because that's going to be a big deal. Auto run from 20. Wow, look at that. Wow, some good stuff here. Risky, not risky as for you. Okay. Okay. I can see that. Zillow. Zillow. Yeah. I don't know about Zillow. The problem with Zillow, here's the problem. Here's the thing I have with Zillow. I think this is ZI. Is it ZIL? I can't remember what the symbol is on that one. Is it ZIL? This is a very crowded space. Maybe it's ZILL. Yeah, let's see if that's the one. This is a rather crowded space in terms of, there's not a lot of, as Warren Buffett says, there's not a lot of moats around this one. There's Redfin, there's Zillow, there's Realtor.com. There's just a lot of people, and so I just don't know if that's the biggest problem that I have. Now, of course, they're trying to do loans and all that other stuff. What is the symbol? Gosh, Zillow stock symbol. So get you a read on that. It is. Come on, show it to me. ZG. I'm sorry, I didn't realize that. Yeah, it's the symbol on it is ZG. Well, I didn't know that. I should know that one because I've looked it up a million times. Okay, yeah, it's a spiky. It's moving up. It's got good relative strength, 96. Boy, there's just really not a pattern to buy this one off of. The last bona fide buy point was way back. It's 44.73 back in June of last year. So yeah, I don't know. Pass on this one. There's better ones out there than Zillow. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, it's not horrible. Okay, what's the pivot on DraftKings? This is a company. I like this one, DraftKings. All right, let's see if I can get a symbol for you. I think it's. Okay, let's see here. DKNG. Thank you. I should know that one too. DKNG DraftKings. DKNG. Yeah, let's look that one up. All right, DraftKings. Again, relatively new stock. It's definitely gone through its 3 months. You don't want to buy an IPO really until it's older than 3 months. It's moving very nicely. It bounced really nicely off the 50-day. There is the last buy point on this one is this is a watch list. Yeah, this is a watch list. Is 1950 is the last one, but it looks like it's forming a cup. I have to look at it, but it looks like it may form a cup here. So it may be buyable at about 42, but I can't tell yet on this one. This is a good stock, by the way. DraftKings, I think it's a winner, and I think it's, there's two ones that I really like in this space. One is Penn National Gaming, and the other one is DraftKings. I'm actually may like DraftKings better, even though it's newer as a stock. I can't really say, but not bad. Salesforce just went into the Dow, which is absolutely amazing. that it would. I'm kind of surprised that it went into the Dow. It just doesn't seem like a Dow stock to me. But then again, I guess I'm showing my edge here because, what is a Dow stock? What is this Dow stock? So let me just look at Salesforce to see what that is. Salesforce. Yeah, Salesforce. CRM, of course. How could I forget the Mark Benioff special? CRM. And by the way, if you've been to San Francisco, the Salesforce Tower is big, and it's right next to the Linden Tower, which is sinking. But Salesforce is pretty cool. Okay, it just went into the Dow. It just became a Dow component. Wow, that's amazing. And I think it's going to get a little bit of a bump of that. It definitely did. 216, it's up today. It was in a buy range. It's a good yeah, this has got a good chart. This is a very good chart. Definitely buyable. I'd like to see a better base on this one, but other than that, very, very good. Hey everybody, it's come to the end of an hour. It's always been fun. I'm going to be back tomorrow at 2:30. And I'm having some guests come in from New York that they're going to tour Dallas Trading Floor, so that'll be fun. And, we're going to get some merch out here pretty quick. I'm working on it. We're going to get some merch. We're going to Dallas Trading Floor T-shirts and mugs, hopefully soon. I know that you're so excited about that. I am, but and I even could show you the little guy that we're going to have on the mug. So I'll just show you that right quick. That's what it's going to look like. That's kind of that's my alter ego there. But that's going to be on the Dallas Trading Floor mug and T-shirt, which is coming soon. The merch is coming as soon as I get that taken care of. So last questions. You never answer my questions. Well, okay. You never answer my questions. Oh, nice. Okay. Okay. I want to answer your questions. I want to answer your questions. What is your questions? Could you just type the question? I'll do it as quick as I possibly can. Sorry about that. Gordon Six, you'll never answer my questions. Okay. Well. Okay. Let me just type into Goated here. Let me just type. I think he's on Goated. Is on Facebook. What's your question, Goated? Question. And then see if that works. So, what's your question? I will try to get it as quick as I can. I hope you didn't leave. Oh well. Well, thanks for dropping by though. By the way, I do have action trailers. They're great. It's totally free. It's www.dallastradingfloor.com. Action trade alerts. And if you're on TikTok, super easy to get in touch with me. And that is just go to my bio, hit the link, and you'll be sent directly to the sign up page. And of course, it's free for all of the action trade alerts. And I will see you tomorrow. And I will have stuff, hopefully, between then on TikTok. And again, thanks for everybody. Thanks for tuning in. And I hope to see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.